What's up, guys? So we're going to talk about gearing up as a fresh level 50 here. So this is one of my alt accounts that has been very few places in the world. We'll show you the teleport book here. So you see it's only been like one page, a little bit more than that. Hasn't really done much. We've leveled up through crafting mainly and spending labor points. So you'll notice that our equipment points score, our gear score, is only 660 right now. I went ahead and purchased the Lost Garden Faded Great Club because this guy is a healer account, like mule account, whatever you want to call it. So we're going to go ahead and equip that, and that's going to bump him up all the way up to like 1200. And so the simplest way to get this stuff is just on the auction house. The auction house for these guys are extremely cheap. So you just go into here, level 50, and then go to weapons, go search, and you'll see all these Lost Garden Faded weapons. These are all Aurora drops, so you get them occasionally from farming mobs up in Aurora, and the downside is they're level 50, so you have to get to level 50 before you can get any of these. But you can see 30 silver, 35 silver, 50 silver. Sure, they're not great weapons by any means. They're basic weapons. They cannot even be disenchanted. That's why they're so cheap. But they work out as a great starting set. The stats are a little bit higher than the quest gear. If you want to spend a little bit more money, you can go up and go into the next tier to like grand or to rare. You can see grand ones start off at 10 gold here. Rare start off at 13 or so. So you can find some weapons in here that are really cheap. Even if you want to go arcane, you can get some good weapons. Even arcane, 20 gold about. Even heroic is right around 40 gold. So depending on how much gold you want to spend, how much money you want to put into this gear sets, go ahead and grab these guys. So we need a bow right here. I'm a cheapskate. I don't really do much fighting. So let's go ahead and look for a bow. We're going to search by bows. And unfortunately, bows are actually quite expensive. So again, I said I'm a cheapskate. So we're just going to go and buy this 4 gold bow right here because we don't really need it for anything. We just want to try and up our gear score a little bit, and we also want to up our stats a little bit. So we're looking for stamina, I believe, and intelligence as a healer. So we'll go ahead and grab that right there. So we'll take that. That's 4 gold. We also need armor. So the same thing is armor right here. Level 50 armor, you can see starts off at around 1 gold each. These all drop again from Aurorian mobs up in Aurora. They do cost a lot of labor to open, so it's better off just to buy these guys. Pages upon pages of gear for level 50s. They also have really cool special effects. So some of the armor may actually be more expensive because, as you can see, each one of these armors does something different for a special class. So this one right here increases the duration of redoubt defense skill. So more defense skills right there. Songcraft, Starling Strain, cooldown minus 3 seconds. So this character is pretty much a healer. So let's go look for some vitalism stuff or some Songcraft things. Or just for anything that's got some like healing stats. So let's go into cloth. So here's a Songcraft, minus 1 second. Probably go ahead and buy that just because it's only a gold 50. We're trying to deck out our guy in as cheap as possible with some decent stuff. So you can see the stamina and the spirit are going way up, the magic defense going way up, because we are in basic like quest gear from level 15 or so. So let's go ahead and buy that shirt. So that's Arc Lightning. Here's another Songcraft thing. Let's go ahead and buy that guy right there. That's 250. So we spent a total of like 8 gold now. We need a hood. There you go. Increase recovery amount of renewal right there. That's a huge 7% more healing abilities. I'm going to go grab that right there. So we got a belt. So as a healer, he's not really doing damage. There's some pants right here. Let's see if we can find some vitalism pants. Songcraft again. And you can see they're all fairly cheap. We got a first green item. the gloves here, and that's actually really good. It's a vitalism, so heartbound. So that's what the vitalism stuff is going to be called, heartbound. So let's go ahead and click on that, buy that guy right there for 4 gold. Now we're spending about 12 gold so far. We've got some gloves, we've got some chest, we've got some pants, we've got a sleeve. I think we got a... Let's take a look. So we'll type in heartbound, and this should bring up all the vitalism stuff. Ooh, the vitalism. Decrease the cast time of men by 1 second. Maybe I should have bought that one instead of the other one. Oh well. So the pants do skewer damage. We don't need those. Don't need skewer damage because we're not doing damage. Alright, so we'll just go back and do some cheap gear. So I'm pretty sure we need pants. Just look at all the pants right here. Let's look for anything that's got high stamina. Alright, so we're cheap. We're going to buy just the cheap set here. 3 gold, 4 gold. Let's go take a look at what we purchased so far and how much that's going to boost up our gear score. And that's definitely going to make us a lot stronger in combat. We're going to be able to take a lot more hits. Our healing ability is going to be better. So we got pants, we got gloves, we got a sash, we got a shirt. So we got 4 things right there, and then we got our bow. Let's see what we have. So we need arms. And then we need feet. Arms, feet. And what else do we need? One more, I think. But already so, our gear score is now up to 1982. We don't even have, okay, so we need a hood, we need arms, and we need feet. So 1982 already gear score, so we're already up there. Pretty decent gear score wise. As a complete fresh level 50, spending about 20 gold right now. And you definitely should have earned some gold as you leveled up to 50. So 20 gold should be kind of a pocket change for you. So let's again look at some cloth. We need a headpiece. Stamina. Stamina. Spirits. Alright, so looks like the same stats. Songcraft, we're going to take that one. We needed feet. There we go. Feet for 1 gold. And so the next step after you get your basic level 50 gear is to farm some Aurorian mobs and to get some Obsidian. Obsidian will then allow you to create the next, pretty much the next tier of gear that you're going to want is the Obsidian gear. You have to buy some wisps, and then you have to combine with some Obsidian items that you get from farming mobs up in Auroria. Those guys are fairly cheap as well, or you could just directly buy them for a few hundred gold each piece for the armor, and about 200 gold, 150 for the weapons. But it's a lot better to probably go ahead and, buy the wisps, and then farm the Obsidian mats yourself, because as you get higher up, you're going to upgrade those guys. And you're going to need more Obsidian mats to upgrade them. So let's finish off our set here. Deck it all out. Alright, so our gear score now is 2,252. Huge increase from our little 600 gear score. And now let's take a look at the next step is the wisps and the Obsidian. So Obsidian gear you probably have heard about if you played the game at all. If you haven't, it's gear that is crafted from Aurorian mobs, Aurorian drops, and then broken down, salvaged, illustrious, and above items. So illustrious and above items are commonly the crafted items. You craft these guys, and then you need to get specific tiers of items like ocean for cloth. to actually upgrade to the next level to get the Ethereum status, and then to get the Delphinad status, the Magnificent status, and so on. So when you don't get the correct one, you break it down and it turns into these wisps. Wisps run around 35 gold, 35 to 40 gold, and you use these wisps to craft the Obsidian armor or Obsidian weapons. So you type in Obsidian in the folio, you can see here, so you can make an Obsidian loot. And these items are extremely good. These are the next step that you're going to want to aim for in game. Part of the reason why they're so good is that you can upgrade them 6 times. So you start off at tier 1, then you go all the way up to tier 6 as you get more materials. You have to farm different dungeons and different mobs, but they are extremely powerful, and as you upgrade them, it's a guaranteed shot. So once you make the tier 1 one, you're guaranteed to make the next tier 2. All you need to do is farm the materials again. So these are the Obsidian mats that are found out in Aurora from random mobs. It tells you on there it's farmed in Diamond Shores, Sun Gold Fields, and the Eklach. This one right here, same thing, Diamond Shores, Sun Gold Field, Eklach. So you farm there until you get enough of those guys, and then you get enough of this material as well, and you're able to craft this guy up. It costs a couple more wisps, and then as you do that, you just keep doing it, keep doing the process over and over again. You keep farming Aurorian mobs to get these materials, and as it goes up higher into tier 4, it starts requiring different things. So this is from the library, this material here. Again, that one's from the library as well. So around tier 4, it starts requiring library mats. And then as you go up to tier 5, it starts requiring like world boss mats, and specialty mats that are a lot harder to get. Some of these are tradable as well, though. So that's the next step. The great thing is that you can regrade them at tier 1, and a lot of people regrade them all the way up to Celestial/Divine, and then try and get the lucky proc. Because as you craft it up, the Obsidian weapons, they retain their status. So if you start off, as you can see here, as you start off as a Celestial, you can craft it up to tier 6, and you have the chance to actually go up and proc a Divine. So you're at Celestial, you have the chance to get that, like, maybe 5% chance to get a Divine, and then if you get that Divine, you still have the next chance on the next crafting up to proc an Epic. And again, it's a very low chance, it's like 5% or less, and then it just keeps going. So you could potentially, if you were like the greatest, luckiest player in the world, have an Obsidian tier 1 Celestial item, and then get a lucky proc and get it to Divine on tier 2, get a lucky proc and get it to Epic on tier 3, get a lucky proc and get it to Legendary on tier 4, and then get a lucky proc once again and get it to Mythic on tier 5. If you have the most amazing luck in the world, you can actually do that. And so that's part of the reason why they're so good. But just being able to get up all the way up to tier 6 is pretty much Delphinad status, a little bit higher than Delphinad status. So that's a really, really great gear, and it'll push your gear score up to like 4,000 or 5,000 if you get everything to tier 5, tier 6. So those are the next steps right there. That's what you want to do. If you have a lot of money in the beginning as a fresh level 50, you can go ahead and bypass the first crappy buying off the Lost Garden material, and you can go and buy all the Obsidian gear. So the Obsidian gear is going to run around, like I said, 100 gold. The only downside with the Obsidian gear is that they're missing 2 of the pieces. They don't have the belts, and they don't have the sleeves, if I remember correctly. So you only can have 5 Obsidian armor pieces. So it's not a complete full set, so you do still have to find a belt and a sleeve from somewhere else. But yeah, Obsidian armor has better stats, as you can see here. So here is, let's find a cloth one to compare to. So this is the cloth Obsidian Grand version, and you can see the stats are just slightly better. So a little bit more magic defense. We got a lot more intelligence. The stamina is a little bit down, but it also has a passive effect that it increases magic attack by 11.5. So you can see it's very comparable to the basic, Lost Garden items that you can find. It just has different bonuses, and the best thing is that they're upgradable, so you can actually reuse them. Whereas the Lost Garden items are pretty much trash. Once you use them, you can't do anything with them afterwards. If you have any questions, post them down below. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like, share, subscribe. I'll talk to you later.